Hello, stellar people, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Trey, and today we will continue with our 100-day march, a challenge for myself to try to make a comic, 24 pages, within the span of 100 days or thereabouts. It's going to be thereabouts because life is life, and it's going to be... But anyways, today we are doing Beautiful Beast Kiss, Chapter 3, pages 6 and 8. So these are our characters: Beautiful Beast Kiss, Bunny, Birdie, and DC the Demon Cat. And they are all within these pages. So I have this, and I have a character design sheet to try to stay on character, on model. And I put these both to the side. And here are the pages. Page 6, which is the introduction of DC Demon Cat and what goes on in this page. And then this is page 8, and this is the introduction of Birdie and what goes on in this page. I have my Bristol Strathmore comic sheet, 24 sheets, 100 pounds, 11 by 17. This is the page we'll be doing. So, page 6, 06, and there we have it documented. And now, we're going to turn on the light table and turn this down. I might need to scooch this over. I could probably move these over a little bit. I make adjustments on the fly, but I also need to move this text down. I try to keep things within the live area, just in case. You never know what could happen if you want to print it a different way. So I have my little clamped, we're ready, but also I have a larger. I'm gonna ink this after I'm done with both of these pages, because you got to work your way back into. It looks better after you've had a little bit of practice. So I got my ink to the side. I have my ink, my little cleaning cloth, and the brush. This is the brush we'll be using. And this brush is a Series 7 Finest Sable Winsor & Newton, number 3. Let's get started. So for my first pass, I always start with the major outlines. I usually don't focus on detailing until the next phase. So first phase is just get the outlines. I figure once I have the body, the proportions, and the major stuff out of the way, then I go back in with the detail, with smaller pens, smaller brushes, and anything else I can throw at it. All right, so now we have the outlines mostly done. And now it's time to go back in and start doing the first pass of detailing. First pass of detailing, and then the second pass, we move into more of the pens. Well, I do both at the same time pretty much. And this shouldn't be too much because I have most of it done. Just to touch it up, give it that final polish. So brushes, pens, maybe some whiteout if we make mistakes, but let's go. So in phase 2, which is a more detailing phase, I try to get the things that I either forget or, well, a lot of eyes, mouths, noses, and all the detail work that needs to be in there. And then the phase after that is just correcting mistakes. Sometimes I forget stuff, and I want to give myself some time away from it to come back and look at it again, and then, do that final info, final polish phase, and then maybe some cleanup if it needs it. Hopefully spaced out enough that I don't need to do major cleanups, but mistakes will always happen, and I always have to be prepared for that. Also, this is phase 2 is a much more relaxed and more or less stressful, shall we say, than the first phase. First phase, I'm just trying to focus on getting everything out. The second phase, I'm refining it, and the major bits are in. You just got to go up and plus it. And plussing takes less mental energy than trying to get everything on the page, and so it's more relaxing, more less stressful, let's just say. So it's all inked now for page 6. Some slight differences, as there should be. The key image, and then all the action. Lovely, lovely. And then page 8, Birdie sketch version, sketch page, and then the ink page. That's a lot of stuff. And one thing I have to say about inking, when there's a lot of characters on page, it takes a lot longer. So I try to always keep that in mind. Like, I knew these pages, the 1 through 12, because I keep adding more and more characters as they're introduced. So in this, we introduce page 6. We introduce DC, Demon Cat, and then in page 8 we introduce Birdie. And so it's getting more and more complicated with more and more characters on stage, on screen, however you want to call it. So you always have to take account what is going on in your page so that you can plan accordingly. Once I get past page 12, I've already done page 13 and 14, the transition. And so moving into the next phase, it should be easier because there's less characters. It'll just be Beautiful Beast Kiss. So those should be faster. But trying to get all the detail work for these was something. It was something. It was fun, and I like how it came out. As long as I get the results that I want, I can't complain too much. You know what? I love it. All right, so let's conclude this thing by going over the week 13 process phases. So first we start with this very loose, very unrefined thumbnail sketch. That's what I call these. It's just getting my ideas out. Get the ideas out, get some wordage in there, and then very quick, very loose, and then I try to do the whole book like that. And then from there, we refine it to a rough sketch version where it has all the elements, still with the written text, but all of it's here. And then from there, we have the framing, some loose framing, characters, and typed out text. Everything is getting more and more developed as we go along. And finally, we just completed the inks for page 6 in this week 13. Nice, nice, nice. So now, let's talk about page 8, which is pretty much the same. Well, it's exactly the same, really. Where we have the thumbnail sketch, all very loose, very rough, trying to get the ideas out. I move things around as I need, as it reflects my vision coming more into view. Written text. After that, we go to the rough sketch. Everything's slightly more developed, still with the written text. And I've shifted some things and made some things more clear. It's all about building for clarity for the audience. After that, we put in the framing, typed out the text, and it's looking much better. Everybody has expressions, costuming, words, where the balloons would be. Things are coming into view. And then finally, the inks. The inks is my final version of what the page will look like. Not the final, but it is very much more developed. I feel like once I have the inks in, this is the live line. This is what I will now build upon with colors, put text back in, put the framing back. And we're pretty much very, very close to an actual comic. So that ends week 13. And next week is week 14, where we will start with the bits and bobs making our way towards the final. Like cleaning up this whole page. How would I do that in computer? Getting rid of the blue lines, taking it, cleaning up a little bit, putting it into a Clip Studio Paint, and then we just go from there. So next week was week 14, which we're coming close to the end. I'd like to be done by July 1st. I know we're going to go into the bonus. It's going to be a busy month. But anyways, week 14 will be, I think we'll do cleanup on selected pages, probably 1, 2, 6, and 8. Show you what my cleanup process is, how I tighten things up on the back end before taking everything into Clip Studio Paint, where then we go to color, text, and all the bits that make a comic a actual full-fledged, real-life, splendiferific comic book. So thank you for joining me. I have been Trey Hodges. You can find my work at treyhodges.com. And I will see you in next week's video. Power to all the creators. Take care and keep shining.